Hello, I'm Peter Hollemans, and I work as a consultant and a software developer for the NOAA CoastWatch Central Operations Group. This is a talk about the latest updates as of May 2025 to the CoastWatch Utilities software. The CoastWatch Utilities is a package of software for working with NetCDF and HDF files produced by CoastWatch. I'm going to highlight its functionality, where to download the software, who uses it, and what some of the latest improvements are. The software is important because it's useful in analyzing and processing satellite remote sensing image data, both prior to distribution on a data server and also for data end users. The utilities read various formats of geographic data, including HDF and NetCDF, both level 2 satellite sensor projection and level 3 map projected data. And they operate on the data and the files in a generic way, regardless of the data type, the scaling factors, the units, projection, etc. You can see on the left-hand side of the slide, I've shown a couple of examples of data. NASA PACE data over the Great Lakes. There's GOES 18 data in a geostationary projection over the western United States and Pacific Ocean, and a RadarSat image closer to the North Pole. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the CoastWatch data analysis tool, viewing a chlorophyll data set off the east coast of the United States, and also a command line tool that computes statistics for a data file. So let me drill down now to some of the software functionality. And I've divided it up into a number of areas: information, registration, data processing, and visualization. I'll talk about those. So there are 17 different command line tools that you can chain together in Unix or Windows scripts, and 2 visual interactive tools. So the command line tools include those for reporting file information and computing statistics, mapping data to projections, which we call registration, doing data processing like format conversions, combining a time series into a composite, comparison to in situ data, and performing math expressions. And finally, just general visualization to image data files, PDFs, and movies. There's also the CoastWatch data analysis tool for looking at data files interactively. So you might ask, who uses the software? The software features have really grown out of requests from CoastWatch data users, central operations, and node operations. So a number of groups use the software, with CoastWatch central operations using the most functionality. The East and West Coast and Great Lake nodes as well, and also the AXPO data monitoring system. NOAA users outside of CoastWatch and commercial users who take CoastWatch products and process them further for their own websites and apps. And finally, there are CDAT users around the world using it for viewing CoastWatch data. So given that data users rely on the software, we periodically release new versions to fix bugs and add functionality. We create new versions throughout the year as needed, normally on about a 6-month cycle. We make beta releases with bug fixes and new features between official releases. During 2024, there were 2 major releases, 4.00 and 4.01, and various beta releases. Now, there are installable packages available for Linux, Windows, and Mac that automatically install everything, including the command line tools if you need those. We looked at our downloads for 2024 from the central operations site, and we found that the majority of them were Linux packages at 47% of the downloads. 37% of the downloads were Windows, and then 16% for Mac. There were previous years where we had more Windows downloads, but it looks like we've got more Linux this time. Packages are available from the CoastWatch Central Operations, and the source code is available on GitHub. So you may ask, how much does the software change between releases? Well, there are currently just over 200,000 lines of object-oriented Java code, and we've consistently added new functionality at a rate of about 7,500 lines of code per year. So that's quite a lot of new material in each release. We've been adding new code that's used for the CoastWatch Central Operations data processing, node operations, and visual data analysis in CDAT. That's what we're mainly worked on recently. So you may be interested in what's new in the latest release from December. We did a lot of work to simplify the process of creating standard NOAA CoastWatch branded animations. And you can animate data now from local files that you've downloaded and also from ERDAP threads and OpenDAP servers. What I'm showing on this slide is an animation of sea surface temperature for January, February, March of 2023 that shows the Gulf Stream as it meanders up the east coast of the United States and then out across the Atlantic. Let's play it here. There we go. There are also updates in the latest release for improved compositing, displaying geostationary satellite data, and scripting. We also have a new release in the works that will be ready next month. The new release is version 4.1, and it's been optimized to generate global animations up to about 20 times faster and require less data from the server than the previous version. So here's an animation, for example, from that version of global chlorophyll from 2022 to 2023. And here I'll run it right here, and you can see the seasonal cycle of chlorophyll, and you can clearly see the South Pacific Gyre just to the west of South America. There's also a host of bug fixes for the CoastWatch data analysis tool in this release since the overhaul of the user interface in 2024. The CoastWatch Utilities has an online training course that we've developed in 2023, and that's updated as needed as part of a larger effort to provide advanced training. It has 5 units on introductory to advanced topics, and it presents both original content and also links to existing content on YouTube. There are step-by-step instructions of using the CoastWatch data analysis tool with screenshots, and we have exercises on using the command line tools for common tasks and the expected output that you would get. To help learn the tools, there are various bonus exercises that you can do, and assignments and quizzes and demonstration videos. The course is linked from the CoastWatch Learning Portal on coastwatch.noaa.gov and also from the Help button on the CDAT toolbar, the CoastWatch Data Analysis tool. Parts of the online training course have been delivered in recent meetings. We got a lot of favorable feedback and some suggestions for the course, and then we used those to update the course content. We also have a short introduction video for the course that talks about what you'll learn. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge a number of people over the years for funding, discussions, testing, giving courses, and planning milestones for the CoastWatch Utilities. From Central Operations, CoastWatch Nodes, CoastWatch Leadership, and others. And many CoastWatch data users have given us some great feedback. All right, that's it for this talk. Thank you very much for your attention.